Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Property Management 101, and for today's video, we're going to be discussing top tips for advancing in the property management industry part 2. For those of you that have not seen part 1 yet, please check it out, and I'll provide a link in the video description to part 1 of this subject. I'll provide a link at the end of this video to that video. I will also provide a link that you can click now in the top right hand corner of the page. Here's a brief overview of the things we discussed in part 1. Number 1, you really want to make sure you're mastering your current role. Number 2, you want to be ready. And number 3, you want to inform others. So giving you a brief description of each, here's some things to keep in mind regarding those items. Number 1, when it comes to mastering your current role, you want to make sure you have a good foundation of what that role entails, the day-to-day duties, the processes, and you're able to train it to another person. So when you're mastering your current role, this would also include things like, hey, I'm caught up with my duties, I can help you out. You want to be careful with this though, because you don't want to have a situation where it could come across as that you're overstepping. Being ready. So when discussing the second one, as far as being ready, you want to make sure at all times you have an updated resume and you're ready for any potential interview. Sometimes it could come out of nowhere. I personally have had and shared experiences in the part 1 video where this was the case for myself. And number 3, inform others. You want to make sure you're informing people in your HR department at your own company, as well as recruiters and any outside companies that you have intent of being promoted and staying in the property management industry. This will allow them to keep you at top of mind as positions open up. Again, if you want to check out the full detail on that video, please check it out by watching part 1 to the subject. Now, here are 3 additional things to keep in mind when it comes to positioning yourself to be promoted in the property management industry. Number 4, you want to make sure you're networking. So you want to develop a strong network of connections, and you can do this a couple different ways. Number 1, I'd always make sure on professional online accounts like LinkedIn that you connect with companies and or individuals that work in the property management industry, and maybe these companies or maybe these people you're connecting with work in your region or your desired region that you're looking to work and may be promoted to. I would also consider networking at local events. So there's probably a lot of local real estate groups or property management groups that you may not even be aware of. These are great places to network, put your name out there, learn about local companies, get introduced to people local in your area. I would highly recommend doing this if you have not done so already. And another thing to keep in mind, and this is one that tends to be forgotten. A lot of times companies will have internal conferences where they go over training and maybe awards. This is a great time to network. Introduce yourself to other people that may be in your company that you don't interact with a lot on a day-to-day basis. This is a great way to also network within your company and allow yourself to be considered when any position opens up because they already have a relationship with you. Welcome back to Property Management 101. For those of you that are new here, please allow me to introduce you to our community. This channel is dedicated to discussing best practices, offering valuable tips, and sharing tricks that are tailored specifically to the property management industry. You may have noticed there is an abundance of podcasts, channels, and websites out there providing information that's related to the property management industry. However, much of this content is focused on catering to investors and to property owners really maximizing their investments. Here's where we stand out. Our channel is created with you, the individuals in the trenches, in mind. We are here to support those that are actively involved in managing properties, ensuring that not only your efforts are worthwhile, but also highly effective. So whether you're a seasoned professional or you're new to the property management industry, you've come to the right place. Join us as we dive into proven practices for the property management industry, and we'll be discussing many different types of demographic and asset types in the property management industry. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to engaging with you on this exciting journey in the property management space. And the 5th thing that you can do to position yourself strongly to be in a position to get promoted or advance in the property management industry is getting those licenses, certificates, and that additional education. Many states actually require this now for certain positions. You may have to have an HVAC license on the maintenance side to do and perform certain tasks, or in certain states you may be required to be a certified apartment manager or have your real estate license to actually execute a lease document. And if you are in a region that doesn't require some of these things, by gaining this, it may give you a leg up over other prospects that are maybe applying for a job that you're interested in. This is a great way to position yourself to where you're going to have a competitive advantage over other individuals that may be applying or considering considered for that job, is if you have something from an education standpoint or certification or license that those others do not have. I would highly recommend considering this, as a lot of companies actually offer credits that they will pay you back for from a continuing education basis. I would definitely inquire with your HR department if your company offers this if you're unsure. So this may be something that may be at no cost to you at all. It just may be your time and attention, and this way you can gain a certification or a license and give your leg up against competitions when you're fighting and applying for any jobs that you are looking to advance in the property management industry for. If you're enjoying this video and you're learning something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. And the sixth thing when it comes to best practices to position yourself strongly to be considered for that promotion or advancing in the property management industry is you want to hit your goals. Regardless of the position in the property management industry, you probably have some assigned goals to your particular position. It could be a delinquency number that you need to achieve, an NOI number you need to achieve, a leasing number you need to achieve. Whatever that number is, that is something that if you're hitting those goals more often than not, you're really going to position yourself strongly for that potential advancement in the industry. It's going to be hard for your current company to consider you for any type of promotion if you rarely or never hit any of your assigned goals. This is why it's so important that not just you're mastering your position when you understand what the day-to-day duties are, but you're achieving very well from a performance standpoint. And you really want to make sure that you're hitting goals on a consistent basis and more often than not, because this will allow you to be more likely considered than someone else for that potential position. And you don't want to do this too early when you're informing others that you want to advance, because you really want to make sure you have this track record of strong performance before you inquire about an open position, because you don't want to have a situation where you rarely hit a goal that you're looking to be promoted for. That may be something where it may count you out, and that may hurt your image moving forward for any future advancement. And for a video recap today, keep in mind these 3 additional points when it comes to positioning yourself strongly to be considered for that promotion or advancing in the property management industry. Number 4, always want to make sure you're networking. Have a strong network of individuals that you're connecting to online, as well as in your local area, inside and outside your company. One thing I'd always recommend too, if you're reaching out to someone online that you've never met before, drop a note, maybe to say, hey, I work in the area, we have a lot of similar connections, I thought you'd be a good person to network with. And that way, this will start to build a bond where you're just not reaching out, asking them for a connection and developing no relationship. Number 5, licenses, education, and certification. Anything you could do to gain more education when it comes to your particular role will set you apart from other candidates that are being considered for any position you're looking to be advanced into. I would highly recommend also inquiring with your company if they offer continuing education for anything like this for your particular company. And last but not least, number 6, hit goals. If you want to be positioned and want to be considered for a promotion or advancement in the industry, you have to make sure you have a track record of consistently hitting goals for your particular property and your particular position. What you don't want to do is look to be promoted when you rarely hit your goals. So you want to make sure you're hitting your goals more often than not, so you're ready for that promotion and you're more likely to be considered for that promotion. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future videos. Before putting any of these practices into place, please watch our updated disclosure video as well as our updated why we do this video, which is the channel's why. And I'll be providing a link to both of those in the video description. And to stay on top of industry news, polls, and video releases, please feel free to connect with our LinkedIn and our Instagram page. If you have any questions about this video or any of our videos, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be happy to address it for you. Happy leasing!